Hello, welcome to the new video The Love of Milim and Rimuru by BenGrem1234. Chapter 46. Battle with the Empire Part 3. Ultima flew through the roof of the airship until she flew into a room where she was sensing a very powerful aura. The powerful aura she was sensing was coming from a man who was wearing black military clothes and was calmly watching her. The man was Damrada, the second digit of the Empire. Ultima landed and smiled at Damrada. Long time no see. Damrada gave Ultima a worried look. Not only did Demon Lord Rimuru destroy all our forces, but he also made the Primordials his subordinates, and somehow, they have all gotten tremendously powerful. Truly, Demon Lord Rimuru is terrifying. Damrada could still remember the scary power that Demon Lord Rimuru unleashed on them, and now, he is on his own handling the strong and powerful Velgrand, who is a member of the strongest race in the world. To make matters worse, the terror of the Blessing of the Dead, both the precision and powers, was so over the top that it became obvious that the current primordial before him was stronger than when he met her last. Damrada wanted to know how much the primordial have evolved, but he didn't have to wait because Ultima answered him. Ultima laughed out happily. "Ah, I didn't think you'd notice. Yes, Lord Rimuru has given me strength and now I'm in great shape." Contrary to the smiling Ultima, those words were a nightmare to Damrada. Granting power to a primordial demon is definitely not something any demon lord could do. This solidified the claim that Demon Lord Rimuru is now a true dragon. What a terrifying person Demon Lord Rimuru is. Even so, Damrada had no intention of losing. In order to fulfill his promise to Rudra, it was necessary to go all out to challenge this demon named Ultima. "I don't always aim for a reasonable path. Even if the road is thorny, as long as I achieve my goals, I am satisfied." Damrada stopped agonizing and got into a fighting stance. Ultima also got into a fighting stance. "I guess talking time is over. It's obvious. As His Majesty's knight, I will make my powers known to you," Damrada told Ultima. Ultima snorted as she observed Damrada. The incredible power of being a human was felt in Damrada and stood out even among the saints. His stance was truly incredible, and it made Ultima feel that she would have lost if she hadn't gained her new powers from Rimuru. Ultima sighed and looked at Damrada, who was looking at her in confusion. She brought up her middle finger and gave him the F word due to how angry she was at his calm behavior. Ultima remembers it well. She was a member of the oldest demon ever created, known to history as the Primordials. There were 7 of them in total, and among them, she was the weakest by far. It was undeniable that Guy Crimson was the strongest, but even Guy couldn't land a decisive victory against Diablo, even though Diablo never trains. She saw how Rain and Mazzari chose to serve Guy and gain strength in return, yet she remained the same. She was constantly fighting against Testarossa and Carrera back in the underworld, and to everyone else, they were equal. But she knew the truth. She knew that she was no match for Carrera and Testarossa if they ever go all out in their fight. It was obvious because during their fights in the underworld, she would give it her all, but she always felt that the other two were still holding back. When she realized this, she envied Testarossa and Carrera greatly. So after, she was summoned to the human world along with Carrera to fight a new awakened demon lord who is her current master. Her first impression of Rimuru was that he was a nobody and that she could kill him with little effort. That obviously changed when Rimuru literally stomped both she and Carrera in their fight with little difficulty. She couldn't believe the difference in power between herself and Rimuru. If she was to compare it in human terms, it was like comparing an E-rank adventurer with an awakened demon lord, and she was the E-rank adventurer in this case. Due to this, she wanted to serve Rimuru because she believed that he was the answer she has been seeking for a long time. She has trained for thousands of years, but she never felt her strength changing, which was disappointing. But with Rimuru, she believes that she will make a breakthrough. And a breakthrough she did. After receiving a name and a body from Rimuru, she felt her strength significantly improve and she evolved into a demon peer. That was in the past, however, because not long after she began to serve Rimuru, she felt it. Power she has never in her life dreamed that she would possess was following into her. Her magicule count more than tripled during the process and her powers drastically changed. When she first evolved into a demon peer, she was confident that she can fight any awakened demon lord and win, but now, with the new powers she gained from Rimuru, she was confident she could fight and win against 3 awakened demon lord while still holding back. This confidence came because among all of Rimuru's subordinates, she was the only one to have awakened an ultimate skill. When she was undergoing the changes that came with her new powers, she prayed for a power that will allow her to triumph against any foe she faces. Due to her strong desire for power, she felt a marvelous female voice that granted her wish and gave her the ultimate skill, Poison King Alvin. Now she was confident that she will never lag behind Testarossa and Carrera again, and with this confidence, she faced Damrata. Damrata, clad in his aura, rushed at Ultima with his speed and punched her in the face, but his punch was blocked by Ultima's own punch. Ultima, unlike the other primordial demons under Rimuru, was a master of martial arts. She doesn't fight with any kind of weapon other than her fist, which she was very proud of. She knew she was a master of hand-to-hand combat, but she craved for more skills in martial arts. Which was why she was happy to have been the one to fight Damrata, who was a martial arts master just like her. She wanted to use this fight to better her understanding of martial. Ultima then smiled and began to exchange punches with Damdra, who countered with his own punch. That was a bad decision on Damrata's part because he felt the bones in his hand breaking each time his fist clashed with Ultima. Ultima, after gaining her new powers, began to practice martial arts more than before. She trained her martial arts with Veldora and Zijin inside the labyrinth. Even though she felt herself improving, she wasn't satisfied yet with her current level. That was another reason she was so happy that Damrata was her opponent. Damrata is a person who excelled in physical combat and is the best in hand-to-hand combat. He doesn't have an ultimate skill, but he could fight an ultimate skill user with nothing but his martial arts. Ultima wanted to use this fight to gain insight on what she was lacking in her martial arts. Which is why she was fighting Damrata with only her martial arts and no skill attached. Damrata narrowly dodged a punch to the face from Ultima and he jumped back a few feet from her. He couldn't believe what a monster Ultima was. The little exchange with her showed just how much outclassed he was to her. Not just that, she was copying his moves during that exchange. "Are you going to stand there or are you going to attack me?" Ultima asked him. "Damn you, demon. Copying my moves during our fight. Are you looking down on me?" Damrata asked her. Ultima cutely smiled at him. "How else will I perfect my martial arts skill? I don't have time to talk because I need to be the first one to finish my fight. If you won't come to me, then I will come to you." Saying that, Ultima disappeared and appeared behind the confused Damrata and kicked him in his head, which sent him crashing into the wall of the room. Not giving Damrata a chance to recover, Ultima rushed to where he was with her speed. Damrata, who was still recovering from the kick Ultima gave him, didn't have the time to react as Ultima appeared in front of him and kicked him in his jaw, which sent him crashing into the roof of the room. Ultima then sent a purple aura flame at Damrata, who was falling to the ground. Damrata was able to recover and dodge the purple aura that was sent at him by Ultima. He landed on the ground and glared at Ultima. "Playtime is over," Ultima said as she created shadow black wings from her back. She sent the shadow black wings at Damrata at a speed that exceeded that of sound. Damrata saw the back wings coming at him and jumped out of the way, but they began to chase him. Damrata, who realized that escaping from the shadow black wings was impossible, decided to attack Ultima directly. He rushed to where Ultima was standing while concentrating his aura at his hand. He soon reached Ultima and smiled. "Your cockiness was your undoing. Take this, Trinity Break." Saying that, Damrata unleashed his strongest punch at Ultima, which caused a massive explosion to occur which shook the whole room. Damrata was sure that Ultima was dead. The move he used was him condensing his martial chi into a single point in his hand, which when unleashed is powerful enough to vaporize anyone in contact with it. Damrata, certain of his victory, turned around to walk away, but he felt his body being tied up by the shadow black wings from earlier. He managed to turn around in time before the shadow restricted his movement to see who was binding him, and to his shock, he saw Ultima standing inside the flames caused by the explosion of his move without a single scratch. "How can this be?" I thought. Before Damrata could finish, he was pierced clean through in his chest by Ultima's fingers, which was covered in a purple aura. Damrata coughed out blood and glared at Ultima with hate, but Ultima was simply smiling at him. "That was an impressive attack. Too bad that my barrier seems stronger than move of yours. Honestly speaking, if it was the old me who fought you, I would have been the one who lost," Ultima told him. Damrata wanted to talk, but he felt his body being turned to ash from the inside. He weakly looked down and saw his feet has already turned to ash and has fallen to the ground. Gradually, his body was turning into ash, and it was at that moment that Damrata knew his time was up. "What a monster you are. Even though I gave it my all, I was still no match for you even when you were holding back," Damrata weakly said. "So you noticed, it was honestly a challenge to hold back another, not to kill you with a single punch. The difference between us is just too wide to compare. You are like a water in a cup while I am like an ocean," Ultima explained. While talking, all of Damrata's waist turned into ash and fell off. Damrata knew that he was going to die soon, but he needed to ask Ultima for something. "Please, I would like to make a request of you," Damrata began. Ultima looked confused. "What request is that?" I would like you to kill Emperor Rudra for me, Damrata told her. I was planning to do so even without you asking, but why do you want me to kill him? Ultima asked him. It's a long story, but it will be my final duty to my emperor if you fulfill this wish of mine. As payment, I offer my soul and everything I know to you, Damrata said to her. Ultima smiled, as I have heard your request, so shall I grant it for you? Damrata smiled before his entire body turned into ash and fell to the ground. Ultima grabbed his soul and looked at it before she absolved it into her body. I guess it's time I pay this Rudra a visit. I hope I am the first to finish my fight, Ultima said with her cute smile as she began to walk away from the room.